welcome again to another episode of Brunch. Today we're going to be talking about me. Yes, my birthday is next Friday, so I have a whole weekend of shows coming up. The show that's actually going to be on to talk to you today is A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is a sequel to Out of Your Hamlet, which premiered at the So Many Shakespeare's Festival and also won Best of the Fest at Hartford Fringe. So I wrote a sequel, because why not squeeze everything out of that cash cow that I possibly can? I call it a cash cow. It did not make money. Anyway, what virtual show does make a ton of money right now that requires lots of one-person shows? Yeah, you know what? Because all you're doing is like focusing on yourself, and you can make money, and that's great. But yeah, before I get into all of that, we're gonna be making a drunken butler cocktail. So let's get started on that. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour out some of these little stars, these little edible glitter stars that one of my actors, Catherine Yako, rhymes with taco, not rhymes with my last name. Yeah, she sent those to me. They arrived yesterday with a bunch of other things. I'm just gonna pour some out onto a plate right now. I'm gonna take some pink frosting, and just smear it a little bit around the top of my glass. I'm using a grapes chalice right now because it's part of my birthday show celebration, so why not do something sour grapesy? Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna clean up the outer rim of that a little bit. I'm gonna have this icing. All right. I'm gonna do a little more cleanup. Hey, how are you doing in there? You know, nothing tastes better than frosting straight out of the tub. All right, I'm actually gonna put a little more down on here. Yay! Yay! 'Cause I'm a star. All right. And then you just do that with your little edible glitters. And I'm using these little stars right now. If you do want to do something fancy on the outer rim, if you ever want to copy this at home, you can use whatever you'd like. All right. And that's what we're working with right now. Hell yeah. Cooking with fire. All right. I'm going to just get rid of the rest of you right now. So we've got a shaker. We're going to add our cocktail ingredients to the shaker. We're going to add some Sweet Bitch Moscato Rosé, because I'm a sweet bitch. Glug. As always, measure with your heart. And since this is like my birthday weekend, I'm just going to measure with my heart and soul. A little bit of a Pinnacle Vanilla Vodka is what we're going with next. Little gloves there. We're going to have some White Cran Peach Ocean Spray. And the final thing we're going to have is some Capri Sun. Because why the hell not? Why the hell not have some Capri Sun? I like Capri Sun. I do always joke that Moscato itself tastes like Capri Sun. And by joke, I mean state out loud. Can I get the straw out of here? That would be super beneficial to this whole process. Anyway, this fruit punch Capri Sun is tasty. All right. Plan B, just rip it open from the middle. I'm gonna put you over here for right now. I don't even need it to use as a straw. I just need like, yeah. I'm just gonna fill that up the rest of the way. And then I'm going to wipe down my makeshift counter. And I'm gonna shake it. show of Kit's performance. Haha! I am actually screen managing one of those immediately after this. So, you know, a little on the brain. Yeah, no, I know what to do. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's shaken. All right. We're just going to pour you out. Not very well, apparently. And then look how pretty she is. Ooh la la, she is a gorgeous girl. So I have that right there. Need to do some more cleanup. That lovely little shaker is what my mom's job sent out to all of their employees as they were doing a cocktail hour for the holidays. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so I'm not like dying. I am gonna make an egg, a singular egg. We have one egg left because we've been doing a lot of cooking. So I'm just gonna right now, basically just so I'm not like falling over drunk trying to talk to my actors about what they're doing with their life, what I'm doing with mine. All right. Crack it open. Yeah. Just shimmy that yolk. Shimmy that yolk. Shimmy that yolk. I'm gonna add some cheese. I want to add some cheese to it just because I only have the one. Oh. Listen, someday I will try to be doing this show still virtually, but possibly from the crane. So I could probably do that, right? This is relatively close. Relatively. Do another pat there. Pat, pat, pat. I mean, sometimes you just need a good drink before a kid's anything, because it makes you more fun, and kids like fun adults, so I'd say go for it. All right. I'm just gonna let that happen. Gonna flip it, just a little 1 egg and shredded cheese omelet. Just so again, I have something inside of me to soak up the juices. Yes, kids love fun adults, so sometimes you just gotta find a way to make yourself super fun that day. All right, my little omelet, my little drink. I'm gonna move this over to my kitchen area. Please enjoy this little trailer that I made yesterday for my show. Hopefully I will be back on screen in time for it to be over. It's a 30-second trailer. Who knows? Wish me luck.
If we actors have offended, think but this and hope it's meant.
That you've had a nightmare here.
Will these horrors did appear.
And this week in idle play, no more yielding in the day.
And molest if we be friends. Or else you can kiss our rear ends.
Ta-da! Yay! Kind of. I did it. For some reason, this chair is no longer like sittable. It's no longer sittable. What does that mean? It means there we go. I usually have like 1-minute trailers, but I was like, oh, this is a fun concept. Forgetting that I need to travel. Anyway, please welcome a few of the cast members of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Ellen is just Ellen and Catherine. Yay! Ellen and Catherine. Hi, friends.
Hi.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, was my mic working?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I didn't get to taste this earlier. Ooh, it's good. All right. So, oh, Chris, you might be done. Yes. Oh, great. So, first up, how are both of you doing?
Here. I
Driving.
decided in true cocktail fashion, because I'm just drinking hot chocolate because I already had my coffee. But I was like, oh my gosh, she makes a drink, so I put eggnog in this. So
Yes!
now it's a jam. That's how I'm doing.
I'm just enjoying this sunny day, brunch with friends. It's like my virtual ideal Sunday.
That's my every Sunday, y'all. I'm just constantly making people come on this stream with me while I either get drunk or eat a ton of food. My ideal Sunday. So, please, if you could tell the viewers at home how you are related to this project. Like, what's your roles?
I'll unmute first. It takes me 20 minutes. Hey, I'm Catherine. I'm related to this project because I was also in I'm Your Hamlet. I'm gladly showcasing the mug because I left it out the last time I was on this stream talking about I'm Your Hamlet. I am playing Harriet in this production of Midsummer Night's Dream. Very interesting, yes, in quotes. I should just leave it at that. Spoilers, I don't know. But it's. I feel like it's a sequel that everybody asked for, and in contrast to what the trailer says, because I think we were all looking forward to this sequel. I don't know about you, Genny, but I don't know about you, Ellen, but I was looking forward to the sequel, and it's a
I
very
remember the first
exciting
time I
show.
thought of the sequel, you were like, am I gonna be in it? Because the first one they talk about just like not using my character.
Exactly. So my role is just fantastic in this one because I mean, if you saw I Am Your Hamlet, I played somebody different, and so yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun. Go see it. It's great. I'm very, very excited to be part of that project. So yeah, I think I should turn it over before I like say any more of the plot.
I'm Ellen, and I play Ava, everyone's favorite not director of the show. My character comes back in the Midsummer play that they're rehearsing as King Oberon. And she's really enthusiastic about the role. And actually, she has a great scene with Harriet. We have a nice little two-person, and I was trying to explain this play to someone over the phone last night, and she was confused. She was like, "Oh no, well, I'm so sorry that it's been such a disaster." And I'm like, no. It's actually good. It's the play within the play, and I was like, the cast of the greater play is great, but the cast of characters are a hot mess. So, and it's so fun to play hot messes. So it's really fun. I'm really glad that my character Ava made it to the sequel because I didn't know either. And yeah, so I'm just psyched that we're keeping this ball rolling.
Yeah. I do know that when I was doing all the advertising for I'm Your Hamlet, and I would put that the title was I'm Your Hamlet. So many people would comment on the post saying like, can't wait to see this production of Hamlet. Sorry, it's like so stressful. And I'm like, do you really think that I would put in the event bio that it's a bunch of difficult actors that I'm working with? Why would I do this? I would have to like really hate all of you, and I don't. The reason why everyone is in this show, the first show I actually wrote it all specifically for these actors in mind, not to play these terrible people as themselves, but because I knew that A, they were wonderful to work with, and B, we've all worked with these kinds of people before, so they all like would know right away exactly what I wanted. And then for the sequel, which I've been talking about since October, and all of these actors have been waiting for the script for, oh my God. I wrote it in like 9 hours a week ago, and I was like, and we're filming on Thursday, and enjoy! But yeah. The sequel was honestly very easy to write because once I saw everyone in their character and I knew where I wanted the next part of the plot to go, it was so easy. It was just honestly verbal diarrhea onto the keyboard. I was like, this is perfect. This is great. All of these people can do all of this stuff. So again, both of you can answer this. We've all been doing a lot of virtual theater. What are some of the unexpected difficulties that you like weren't really thinking of when virtual theater first started, and now you've finally been like, ah, yes, if I could go back in time and make my life easier, what would you tell yourself?
Well, I've been kind of balancing between being in virtual theater and directing virtual theater. So as a director for the virtual theater, I don't have, I mean, like they've been like not live streamed, but like live, maybe live stream. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. So I always tell myself what live stream meant before. And also I would figure out the direction you're supposed to look and how it's mirrored in the camera facing it, because that was really fun to communicate to my actors, you know, like in the moment and before, because it's just very confusing. You know, it's the stage right, stage left, and like it is like the stage, but the mirroring thing really tripped me up. And so I wish I would have I guess mastered that before I jumped into this virtual world.
I still get it wrong on this show all the time. I do know because with Zoom, it's automatically so that you are seeing yourself as a mirror, but everyone else is seeing the reverse of that. Whereas this, everyone's just seeing how it goes out. So it's so complicated. So complicated.
So that was my biggest hurdle, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mirroring is just rough in general. And Zoom has gotten a lot better just as a thing overall. I prefer StreamYard because of the branding options, but if you want something more chill, which is what I'm Your Hamlet and Midsummer Night's Stream was filmed on. Oh, a little comment. It's so far away. I'm doing this on a tiny phone. Still get it wrong and work with it every day. Yep. Yes, Zoom. Zoom has gotten a lot better in that you can actually drag the screens around and make everyone see the same viewpoint, as long as they have, but it's like a recent thing, and that it's only been done because so many shows were happening on Zoom. And when Zoom first came out, they were like, what other than meetings is going to be happening here? But everyone has to have the most upgraded version of Zoom for them to actually see everything in the right way, which some people don't.
For me, I just made all the classic mistakes, like thinking I hit record and I didn't, thinking that I turned off mute and I didn't, thinking I pinned my frame and I didn't. It's just like the real obvious, like level 0, like, come on. I just hit them all. I was like, boom, yes, messed that up, yes. And so, you know, I cost everyone an extra take.
I know one of my biggest ones that I had to really get into for being on camera was lighting, because everything for some reason is so much darker on the screen than it is in your home. So you need I have 5 lights that I put on myself over in that little corner that I film in. We have lights that we travel around the apartment with. I have a light clipped onto my phone right now, and it still looks kind of dark. There's so much going on. I scream about lighting all the time because lighting is so important to streaming, and I cannot tell you how many times I just see people in darkness, and it's not supposed to be like a vibe. It just you can't see what they're doing. I'm like, hi. Another thing that I did have to get used to was when it came to screen managing, because I've been doing a lot of screen managing during this entire thing too. People not paying attention to any of the pre-show instructions, pre-show opening talks, no one paying attention to any of that. There was one show that I actually did 27 screen managing gigs for before I got way too busy to stop. And the show was the audience writes the script for one actor in real time, and he like cold reads it out to the audience. So many people didn't use the private chat, and you're supposed to use the private chat directly to the actor so no one else can see what you're doing. No one was using the private chat. We wanted everyone to keep their cameras on and their audio on, so that way there was some accountability. So that way, like, if someone was being gross, who would know who it was, and people didn't do that. There's just so many times people just have no idea what's supposed to be happening in the audience that they've been told at least 3 times. So I've learned to be a bit more patient with the audience members when I'm explaining for the 4th time what I've already told them thrice. And it sometimes it is understandable, but like also there are times when it's just like, no, you should know. You've even been to this show already. You know what's happening. You're just not paying attention. What is something that you enjoy about virtual theater?
I love that it's happening, you know, like we're kind of like, this is what we have. And so let's accept it. Let's go with it and enjoy the experience of being with other people and having fun. Like, we still get to dress up. We still get to talk funny. We still get to, you know, like laugh at the end of each cut. And so it's just different. I think once people can accept that, they can move on and then they can start to enjoy their lives again.
That was beautifully said, Ellen. I was going to say, I don't have to wear pants as much. Hate pants. And also the commute. There's no commute. What a dream. That's the best part for me. Be comfy all the time. Skip the train. Bye.
I had to untrain myself to like wake up an hour earlier than I needed to for every show, because I was always planning travel time in my head, and I'm like, I don't need to do that. I'm here. I'm in the location. It's fine. Oh,
it's also fun, like in these and these reading, maybe not readings, but like just like the Zoom classes or the Zoom meetups that I've had, to see like the insides of everybody's homes. Is that kind of creepy? Maybe that was a little bit creepy to say, but it's fun to see because it like reveals their personality or the backgrounds that they do have because they're professionals. So, you know, it's great. That's fun too.
I do love pinning other people during a Zoom meeting and just like, oh, look at that decor. Like, there's some ambience.
There was that one meme going around to be like, oh, to be an 8th grade girl in a Zoom class and seeing your crush's bedroom. Like, what I wouldn't give to be a teenager right now. Again, no commute. I wouldn't have to interact with the people I don't like. And again, anyone that I had a crush on, I could just see their personal life unfold. My God, what a dream.
And, you know, some of these actors in this show I've never met in person. Other ones I've done tons of work with. But it's kind of cool that I don't know these people, but I feel like I know them. And one day when our paths cross in person, we're going to be like, hey! So it's great. You're like, we're making connections.
I do have plans to eventually have the completed trilogy done in person on like a stage, and it would just need some light rewrites to make that happen, obviously, which would be very easy. But I always keep tricking myself because I'm like, every time we do these shows, we're all mostly like reading off of scripts as we go. And if we were to do that like live in front of an in-person audience, we could not do that. So it would have to take a little more prep time for us. Maybe we just rewatch the Zoom shows over and over again just to get it in our brains. Who knows? But yeah, I do. I don't know. I love being able to work with anyone all over the place. This show specifically has had 2 theaters from Australia, 1 from Brazil, 3 from California, and like 2 from the UK come on just to talk about their projects. And I also love in this virtual world that I can see shows from those places. Like I've never been out of the country before because I've never had the money or time. And now I'm able to see shows from fucking Ireland. This is amazing. Like, I was able to see Edinburgh shows. I was able to see Melbourne Fringe shows. Like, I was able to actually see these projects that I would have never had the opportunity to see before. Silver linings. The silver linings of the pandemic.
And a lot of these shows are free too.
Yeah.
I mean, the cost of internet, which you probably have already, but it's not like, you know, like the public theater was doing stuff online, and if you went there, it would be like, I don't know, I'm guessing $50 for like the in-person ticket, but they're like, we're going to stream this. If you want to donate to something that we like, here it is, but, you know, don't let it be a barrier to you.
So you are also both in my other show that is happening on my birthday, a Silent but Deadly, a Mime Experience, our second fully virtual show, because we did a stoop show. We did a show that was supposed to be a stoop show, but wound up going inside the crane because there was a film shoot happening on the stoop the day of, and we found out like an hour before. So we had our first fully virtual show in November. We are doing another one on Friday for my birthday. Do either of you want to talk a little bit about that too, since you're both in that as well? You're stuck in a box. You're stuck in a box.
I guess I'm just excited to see the new scenarios that you wrote. And also, I mean, this one is a little bit more complicated virtually, I feel like, than the other one. Just, I mean, for you're in, Genny.
I'm a crazy person, and I sent out at like 2:30 in the morning these ridiculous instructions on how to film all this stuff so I could edit it together in a way that looks like some people are in the same room as each other, because I have zero chill.
Why not? So I'm like especially excited to see like some of the old ones that you brought up back from the dead, especially like, you know, the Inside the Box one done virtually. I'm very excited to see how that turns out. So exactly like that.
I have to say, I think the mime sketches have a little bit of magic because we don't see each other's, with one exception this time, but we generally don't see what the other mimes are sending to Genny. And somehow Genny chops it all up, stirs it together, pats it into a nice scene looking cake and serves it. And to me, like, knowing what I've sent Genny, I'm like, I don't know how any of this is gonna like come together or make sense, and it does. It's really impressive. And so that's kind of, you know, like in theater we have like behind the scenes magic, like there's like ropes and lighting and to kind of create, like, editing is the real, like, what do they call it, the real MVP here.
I've gotten so much better at editing for the like almost year that we have been in this lockdown. Not only for other people's projects, but like the very beginning, I was doing stuff for my improv show just to release content and feel a little better about stuff. But now, finally, that I'm doing like these full-length shows, I finally feel comfortable in the editing process, to the point where both of these shows are a lot more complicated than their predecessors. Midsummer Night's Dream is going to have a lot more weird special effects that I'm going to edit in. And the Mime Show as well is going to have just, you have to see them both, and they're both free. They're both free. They're going to stream out on Facebook and YouTube, fully free. We will accept donations you can get to the little link tree down at the bottom to get there. But honestly, like, it's free shows because my birthday was on a Friday this year, and normally it would have just been like a weekend of karaoke parties, and now can't do that. So free shows. We love free shows here. We love free shows here. Is there anything that either of you have coming up that you would also like to plug on the show? Also, if either of you would like to come on the show to specifically talk about a show that you have coming up that you're like directing or acting in. Doesn't have to be Shakespeare based because I know you both. Nepotism. But is there anything that you would like to plug-ish right now?
I just joined a sketch comedy team that's part of this group called Boogie Manja. My team.
Yes!
Yeah. And so I'm on the team Wilburn. Our show is March I don't know. It's a Friday at 9 o'clock on March something-ish.
Great.
And I mean, it'll be on their website, but I've met the other people on my team and I've had a welcome meeting, but we haven't actually started doing anything. So, but we have a date and that's kind of exciting and it's new. I have no idea what's going to happen. So tune in to check it out.
I have nothing. For once in my life, I'm starting like a big girl, real. I'm a real girl, like remote job in the coming weeks, and so but also just because, thank you. But I just also feel like January and February, yeah, and March is usually okay, but January and February are just like dead months for me in my experience with theater. They've been just like everybody's sad. So it should be like, yeah, let's do more content, more theater. But I've experienced the opposite. So just get more sad and blue. But I'm also concentrating on making money to live. So that's all. No Shakespeare, no anything. Sorry.
What's your remote job?
It's it's through a university and through another company that I have a very good friend who's worked for years and years. It's basically I guess trying to describe it. It's like virtual reality standardized patienting.
Ooh, actually, Peyton, who is in Midsummer Night's Dream, she actually is one of those as well. So yay!
Very cool. So I'm doing that, and then there's also like an early childhood session where like we have these avatars, and I'm playing like 5 different kids, and so I'm either like with the nursing school or I'm with the training teachers. We're basically training them to like have more like soft skills, like communication, obviously, and then like empathy, teaching all that sort of thing. So it's very exciting. I'm excited to start that, but yeah.
Amazing. That sounds so fun. I've honestly, Peyton's talked about it so much. I've always tried to be like, I would like to get into that, but I don't want to bully anyone I know into getting me a recommendation for how to, but it seems like so much fun. So someday I'm going to figure out how to apply for one of them, and I'm just going to apply and see what happens, because it's like getting paid to act, which is such a novel concept.
What? So that is the dream, isn't it? So yeah.
So I've asked you both this before, but I ask every single time I have this show. We all have theater horror stories. We all have them. They're insane. I've talked about this production of A Midsummer Night's Dream before, but I'm going to talk about it again as a different aspect. The first time we did A Midsummer Night's Dream, 2 things actually happened. We were doing the show in New Jersey, but rehearsing it in New York. So when we rehearsed in Central Park, people would just walk up and be weird and just be like, boo, boo, hey, boo. And we're like, what? Why do you need to be the way that you are? But the day that we opened in Alair State Park in New Jersey, it was rained out, so we couldn't do it outside. We were trying to figure out what was going on. We were trying to figure out where to change, all that stuff. And that was also the day that Pokemon Go dropped. So all of my actors in their costume just started wandering the grounds of the park looking for Pokemon. So I couldn't tell them where we're going. I couldn't tell them, no, put your street clothes back on. It was, and they were all in full togas and fairy makeup. And I'm like, what? Pokemon can wait until you're backstage at least. I don't know. So that's one of mine, and I kind of refuse to get Pokemon Go after that, because I've seen what it does to actors. It makes them wander away from the show. Please, if either of you have any, I would love to hear them.
I have one that's not Shakespeare related, but this is probably my most embarrassing one, and I'll give you the truncated version. Basically, so this was the outdoor drama that I did in West Virginia. That I believe I name dropped West Virginia to you, Genny, many years ago when we first met. And you're like, okay. But anyway, so it was an outdoor drama, so it was classical text, but not good, not Shakespeare. But anyways, my character was basically the what is it? Damsel in distress? Not really. The ingenue or whatever. But at the end, she's the one that is supposed to kill the bad guy. She shoots him in the back, which is not really great. But she was being attacked by him, and then the hero comes in and he can't save the day because the bad guy gets him in a tight spot. And then I come out of the cabin and I shoot him with a double barrel, and it's great. Everybody applauds. Well, The safety jammed for the gun. So it's like the actor doesn't know. I mean, like he's just supposed to hear the bang or whatever and like, fall face plant, dead or whatever. And the hero is like in a corner, so he can't see me either. And it's like, I mean, this is a pivotal moment, right? And so it's safety jam, the gun's not working. And it's like, I also have like I have a knife in my pocket from another scene. I don't know, but I never use it. It's weird. And I didn't think about that at the time because of course I'm just panicking. So this is what I do. I run the length of this huge outdoor stage and I just lightly tap him on the back and he just like face plants. And to nobody's surprise, nobody in the audience applauded. It was just like silence. I was just like, I think I killed him. The lethal spinal tap is what it's been known as. But it was very embarrassing, and I was just appalled. And I made sure that I triple checked the safety, that it was off every single night from then on. The end.
I'm always terrified of props on stage. I know I always, especially with like weapons, I always write them to be absurdly complicated because I in here think that it's a good idea, and then when we get to the rehearsal process I'm like, haha, incorrect. So for the I only had like weapons on stage back when I started doing shows in like when we were doing like festival shows in like 2016, and after that I was like, that's a little, maybe I should just write poison for weapons if I need weapons, because they get lost or they don't work, or the knife gets we had stakes in a vampire show, but the show before us would always throw them out because they were made out of cardboard tubes, and they were just like, what are all these cardboard tubes doing backstage? So they would just like throw them away because they thought they were being helpful to the space. Yeah, so poison. I like poison. Poison's great. Ellen, do you have any horror stories?
Well, this morning in the shower, I was remembering back to a rehearsal that I was in where two of the actors got in a literal, like, they were arguing and they both stood up and challenged each other to a physical fight, like to leave the room to go have a physical fight. And we were able to de-escalate the situation, but it was really scary, actually, because, I mean, so like this show and I'm Your Hamlet, like it's about actors like, being tough on each other and like kind of undermining each other with like psychological warfare. But to see physical, like two people who were like ready to physically fight was just like kind of over a line for me. And it was they were like ready to go. And to be honest, they were not well matched physically. So I'm pretty sure one person would have gotten like if they really went at it, but I was very uncomfortable, and I hope that never happens again.
Yeah. Ugh. That reminds me of one of the rehearsals for my improv show, because we had various we had like a improvised fight choreographer come in with an assistant, and they were both lovely and wonderful. And we also had various like improv coaches come in, guest narrators, all of that stuff. But there was one time one person for a rehearsal who had been an absolute darling to me said like, hey, I do some fight choreography. Would you mind if I came in and like did some work with your cast, so that way also like I could make some connections there, la la la. And I was like, sure. He was a monster when he got there, and I don't know what happened. After that rehearsal, all of the actors were like, can we never have this person back? And I'm like, yep, only the people that we've worked with who like taught us this stuff or have been here multiple times. That guy is just bad. I don't know what happened, but it was improvised fight choreography. And by the end, everyone was like, I'll fight you. I'll practice fight you. And it was this weird like tension in the room that we were just like, okay, I'm just, and I felt so bad because like, I don't know if that was just like teacher voice that he was putting on that he like thought he needed to be authoritarian. But yeah, that was a very weird time because I also had to like kind of hide when the performances were from this person because the actors would like still like for like a few weeks later get into a bit of a PTSD rage after they were like, that guy can't come back. That guy can't come back. So that was a fun time. We had to be like, no, that's not when the show. No, it's sold out. You can't. I'm so sorry. So that was a grand old time. But it is horrifying because as a theater person, I've seen so many stage fights. When you see the shift from like we're rehearsing to I want to beat you up for real, all stage combat training goes out the window in your mind. You're like, I don't know how to block this. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to de-escalate. I'm just gonna sit here and lightly cry a little bit because I don't know what's happening. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. I'm rambling, but I've been there, is what I'm saying. I've been there, and I have a light ban on that person coming back to coach any rehearsal.
It's hot. You know how people talk about people talk about showmans, but like I think it goes both ways. Like actors, it's like kind of confusing sometimes. There's just so many like emotions that things get kind of mixed up and confusing very easily.
Right.
However you want to go.
Yeah. No matter how you want to go. Wow. All right. Back to a lighter note. Is there anything else that either of you would like to say about either of the shows that you're going to be a part of this weekend for the audience to know?
I just want to know how, because for I Am Your Hamlet and Midsummer Night's Dream, this is the first time that I've worked with some people in your community, and so I kind of want to go through the people in this show and know how you know them, if that makes sense, with your other shows that you've done.
Totally. So you know Ellen and you know Dory from the Mime Show, of course. Denise and Dylan are both our newest recruits to Chemical X, the improv show. Dylan plays Mojo Jojo and Mayor of Townsville. Denise plays Sedusa and Miss Keen and Fuzzy Lumpkins. They actually just joined the show like a month before the lockdown started. So they were only in like one performance of Chemical X. But they've been so supportive and so wonderful, and they're so talented that I had to write them into the show as well. Peyton is in Chemical X. She plays Princess Morbucks. She plays Miss Bellum, Miss Sarah Bellum. And she's also played a bunch of other really fun characters throughout the run of the show. Amanda Nicastro, I've known her since 2016 because we both had shows in the Frigid Festival for like 2 years, and then I put her in my third Frigid Festival show, and then I've forced her to work with me ever since. There's me and Chris. I'm related to Chris, and I and myself and me.
Dory, we know.
Yes, from this thing. And oh my God, Mykailyn I know through Dory, because last year's So Many Shakespeare's Festival, we had like basically 2 actors drop out relatively late in the game. And he was one of the replacements that we found through Dory, and he was so good at the text. One thing I always say is to get a good Shakespeare show, you either need people who know the text really well, or you need improvisers who don't know it very well, because they can make something out of nothing. And he had like 1 rehearsal with us, and then he was in for like all 6 performances, and he was stellar. And then I had him in a short play of mine at the Players Theater for a Halloween show. And now he's actually in my friend Emily's improvised Fresh Prince show. Yeah, he's like guest narrating Chemical X. So I gotta thank Dory for that one, because that was one of hers. So, and I think that's everyone.
It's a huge cast, and I have to say, it like that can, in other circumstances, it can be a lot to juggle, but I think it's pretty smooth. Like when we're all
together. Yeah. It's one of the easier things also about online shows is I like my shows to be kind of 3-ring circuses, and so that there's a lot for you to look at. And with Zoom shows, like people are just kind of doing things in their boxes at all times. And for everyone at home, I make all of the actors pin themselves. So they are seeing themselves basically the entire time. So there's really not a lot of dead air because they can tell when they're like not doing something. They're just like looking at the camera and they're like, oh, I should be reacting. I should be doing all of this, because I have just noticed in the past that when people aren't looking at themselves when they're doing a virtual show, they sometimes like forget to do anything until it's their time to talk. And I'm not saying that anyone in this show would do it. It's just sometimes like our brain kind of checks out. We're looking at someone else. We're watching something. So we don't want to be a distracted audience when we're watching something. It kind of, our brain chemicals kind of go funky. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all the questions I have for you guys. Thank you both for being on the show.
I have one more question for you, Genny.
Yes.
Because I know that you're doing all these wonderful projects for your birthday, and I know you can't really go out and do anything fun, but are you doing anything besides the shows to celebrate?
I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna have a quiet night with my little dog Poppy, and we're probably gonna watch this because the shows are at like 7 p.m. I'm doing like 2 on Sunday, and then I have the Saturday and the Friday. I might hang out with Andy because he's back in the city because he was in Wisconsin for December, and he'll be done quarantining by the time it's my birthday. But I might just chill. For those who don't know, Andy's my best friend, so I'm not just throwing out some random person.
Well, that sounds good. I mean, especially during COVID times. Have we all experienced a COVID birthday? I know I have. So chilling is sometimes much needed.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to be up all night for this entire week editing both of these shows together. I'm going to need sleep.
Take a nap.
That's my gift to myself, a nap.
I want to know how you manage to do it all. Like it just still blows my mind. And you're also doing these screen managing projects, and you're like.
Again, now that the commute is like not a thing anymore, it's so much easier. In fact, at 2 o'clock, I'm screen managing a kid's birthday party show, and that's so easy because I can just go to my computer that's right over there and do it. But yeah, I say I schedule my time well. What that really means is I overbook myself, but I manage to get everything done anyway. Like I know for I'm Your Hamlet, like literally the night before I was up until 8 a.m. making final edits for the show. For the first mime show, we had to push the start time back by a half hour because it was still rendering, so I'd finished editing it that day, like a half hour before we were supposed to start. Yeah, I don't give myself a lot of me time, is what happens. But my me time is my shows. My shows mean everything to me, so I throw everything that I have into them. Thank you both for being on, and I'm so excited to have worked with you again, and I cannot wait until the world opens again so I can maybe see you both again. Catherine, I know you're in Buffalo right now, so
I don't know what my life is, but
I don't know, because no one knows the next few months are gonna be great.
What?
My God. I'm gonna go get ready for this kids show.
do it. And thank you for using the gold stars. I felt like such a
yummy.
myself. I was like, oh, this is a
They have
gift.
an extra, like, sugary taste. So I'm like, yes. I'm gonna.
Okay, good.
Thank you for sending them. Thank you both for being on. Yay!
Good to see you both. Bye.
Bye! Yay! Oh my God! All right. We love nepotism on the show. I love having my actors on the show all the time. Next week we have the Shakespeare Republic coming on. Since 2015, I've been doing shows online to try and they've done like a web series to try and bring Shakespeare to a modern audience while still keeping the original text, so it would be more contextualized with people who aren't very familiar with Shakespeare. But also this weekend is my weekend of birthday shows. On Friday we have Silent but Deadly. On Saturday we have Midsummer Night's Stream. We have another bar brunch with the Shakespeare Republic. On Sunday at 2 p.m. and then Sunday at 7 p.m. we have my first ever solo show that I did back in November. I'm reviving it for another night. Ending the birthday weekend on a downer. Great time. But But again, thank you all for tuning in. This show would be nothing without our audience at home. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go hang out with some children at a birthday party that I was not invited to.